What's going on, guys? 8-Bit Glitch 79 here, and welcome back to the 12 Nostalgic Days of Christmas, episode 9. I hope you're enjoying all the memories our guests have shared so far, and all the memories I have been able to share as well. So with that, guys, let's kick it off with our first guest. Our first guest has a kick-ass channel name. I don't know how this channel name came about. I need to ask him, but I first met him for the first time this year at the Midwest Gaming Classic, and ever since then I've been checking out his channel and just loving it. So with that, let's hear what Tiger Chainsaw has to say.
Hey everyone, happy holidays and Merry Christmas from your friend Tiger Chainsaw. I was invited by 8-Bit Glitch 79 to share one of my Christmas memories of opening up a video game. And I decided to go with the Christmas that I received my very own console. And in this case, it was a handheld. So, to give you a little bit of history on myself, I was born into a family that already had a Sega Master System. And by the time I was a kid, it was pretty old and outdated. So, I loved video games, but I didn't have anything to call my own until second grade. My parents, or I should say Santa Claus, surprised me with the gift, and this is my original case of it, of a Game Boy Pocket. So this is actually pretty cool because if you open it up, I actually just found this a couple days ago. I went back to my dad's house and here it is. Look, you can literally see the tag. Seth is my name, and it says from Santa. So that was a really special gift to me because not only did that mean that gaming was now mobile to me, but it meant that it was my own. And I have two older sisters, and I didn't have to share with them. I didn't have to play the Sega Master System with them. The Game Boy Pocket was my very own. And I have countless memories playing, there was 4 games that I had for it that I rotated through. And that was Paperboy, The Empire Strikes Back, Aladdin, and Tecmo Bowl. And I would say out of those 4 that I played a lot, Paperboy and Tecmo Bowl were my 2 absolute favorites that I'd always play. Also, while at my dad's house this past month, I actually found the original Paperboy that I was gifted that very Christmas. And that's very special to me. And here it is, guys. Here is my original Game Boy Pocket, with Paperboy in the back of it. Let's see if it still works. Well, I absolutely love that sound, and nostalgia is calling me. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays from your friend Tiger Chainsaw, and especially 8-Bit Glitch 79. Thanks for inviting me to share my video game memories on Christmas morning.
Thanks a lot, Tiger Chainsaw, for that story about your Game Boy Pocket. That is so cool. I never owned a Game Boy Pocket. I've owned all the other kind of Game Boy variations, but never the Pockets. Don't know why that is. Interesting. Anyways, time to move on. So our next guest on this episode is none other than Jeremy from Wartrain Wins. I've been following Jeremy for a while now. Been talking to him off and online, so to speak. And it's just been a really great dude, really great friend. And I'm looking forward to seeing what he's got to say for this episode.
Hey guys, this is Jeremy from the channel Wartrain Wins. I want to say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to everybody watching. And I also want to give a huge thank you to Sean from 8-Bit Glitch 79 for putting this together year after year. Such a cool thing that he does. But one of my most nostalgic things in Christmas time is gaming. And that's why a lot of us are checking this out, gaming, movies. They always, just by seeing box art of a game, of a movie, a commercial of a game or movie, it brings back just flooding those memories into your head of you maybe something from your childhood or even just through the years that makes you just feel great. And there's was some negative stuff that happened for me personally in the holiday season of 1999. Now, this game I'm going to show you guys came out in November of 1998. And, I got the game when it launched. I played it into the holidays, a little through the year or whatever. But, I was a teenager, so I would play games just here and there. So, fast forward to the next holiday season, 1999. This is where this game really hit home for me personally. I was getting open heart surgery through the holidays. I wasn't home for New Year's, Christmas time, none of that. It was absolutely horrible. But there was a game that I had with me that I had taken to the hospital that definitely made things a lot better. And looking back, it is one of the only, I remember the surgery and all that stuff, but it's the game that I remember most. It's those times that I remember being there that were good. It's great to have those positive memories for that time. So this game helped turn a negative into a positive, and that is Zelda Ocarina of Time. Now, this is a great game, one of my favorites of all time, and would still be that no matter what. But it's the time I had for that holiday season that really hits home with me with this game personally. Now, I would have, played this game at that time to 100% completion. And this was actually the first game that I ever 100% completed. So, it'll be tied to my nostalgia for that reason as well. But it's really cool is I actually have my original cartridge right here. This is the one that made that journey with me. This cartridge right here, we've been through a lot together, and this definitely is so cool that I still have this. So every time I see this cartridge, I think of that time back then. And what's even cooler, the fact that I have that and it stood the test of time and made it through this huge journey with me all these years later, is I still have these somehow. These two strategy guides for Ocarina of Time have made it through traveling to other states that I've lived in and just all kinds of moving around and stuff through all these years. I still have these. And it's amazing because the only strategy guides I still have from that era are just Zelda Ocarina of Time and Majora's Mask, which is crazy to believe that, these meant a lot to me through the years that I've kept them and got rid of everything else. I still have both of my original games as well, which is really, really cool. So, yeah, having these, the fact that, these have made it through the whole journey, even though they're beat up as hell, I actually have each one another copy that's not in as bad shape now, but the fact that I just have these original copies definitely brings a ton of nostalgia back. And what's really cool is in this one right here, I actually have stuff written in there from my original playthroughs. So I actually have, in this page they put blank music bars, and you wrote in the songs that you learned through the game, which I thought that was really cool that I have, that this is my original one with my writing from back in the late 90s. Just really, really cool to still have that, guys. So, this is something I'll never get rid of, and it's something I will definitely never forget. So that is one of my most nostalgic things about Christmas and one of my greatest memories with it, turning that negative into such a positive through a great game. But thanks everybody for watching, and Merry Christmas.
Wow. I should have known you would have picked something Zelda related. Ocarina of Time. I remember when that came out, playing that on my 64. Wow. It's like, I remember being kind of blown away by it. I thought it was really cool, very different. It was weird about the Zelda series. I didn't really like the second one on the NES because of how drastically they kind of changed the format of it. And then obviously when Link to the Past came out, I was like, yes, this is Zelda. It was just like the first one, but just better graphics and everything. So I was pleased. So when Ocarina of Time came out, I was a little bit worried when I saw the screenshots about it and read about it. But then when I played it, yeah, they did it right. They did it good. All right, guys, so that brings me to my memory of this episode, I guess. And I was kind of inspired by Tiger Chainsaw to talk about this pick. Now, my pick is my original Game Boy. Now, this isn't the case I got with it. This is the case I found just a few years ago and bought in a lot, but I use it to store it. Because I don't play it that much. I obviously use my Game Boy Advance when playing Game Boy games. But this is my original Game Boy that I had since my childhood. As you can see, the screen thing has seen better days. It's fallen off. I need to fix that, but I just kind of don't play it, so we haven't fixed it yet. But yeah, the screen comes off. I gotta fix that. Anyways, this is my original Game Boy from my childhood. Now, I know I've mentioned before that my parents couldn't afford consoles. All the consoles I've ever had, I've either traded for, or I've worked and saved up for, or vice versa. Somehow I've gotten it on my own some way or another. But this is a handheld, so it's kind of different than a console, so I didn't lie. But this is one of the only systems that my parents did buy me. I remember they bought me this, and I was completely shocked that we were able to go and pick this up. Now, I remember picking this up at Ames, which is a store that I had mentioned in previous episodes of this series here today, or this year. And so that's where I got this one. I remember that clearly. And yeah, I was totally blown away when they said we could go get one. And I remember it was the end of the school year. At the end of the school year, if I got good grades, did great in school and stuff, I always got to go to the store and pick out something that I want or whatever. And I remember this year they said I could get a Game Boy, which was kind of pricey for those back in that day for us. So yeah, I was totally thrilled to get this. This still works. I don't have batteries in it right now, or I turn it on. Nope. But yeah, it still works. As we all know, the great monochrome green screen is just so fantastic to look at. So I also got to pick out a game while there, because, you know, you got Tetris with it, obviously. That's my original Tetris cart. But, you know, I was like, oh, I want another game to play. And so I was able to pick out another game, but it had to be something cheap. I know that. Nothing that was like probably full price. So this must have been on sale or clearance or something. And I picked this out, and it was Gargoyle's Quest. And this is my original cart from my childhood. I'll take it out of the box here, actually, so you can get a better look at it. And in fact, I still have some of my codes in here from one of the times I played. So that's pretty cool. But I keep that in there. So Gargoyle's Quest, I had no idea anything about the game at all. I just probably know it was a cheap game at the time, and I picked it up. So my first game, other than Tetris, the pack-in, was Gargoyle's Quest. I remember spending hours playing this game. If you haven't played this, it's a fantastic little like action RPG kind of game. So definitely check it out if you haven't. They released a second one on the NES, which I have that as well. And then, of course, Demon's Crest on the Super Nintendo is part of the universe, which all of this is part of the Ghosts and Goblins, Ghouls and Ghosts, that whole like era, along with the Maximo and stuff. So it's part of that whole universe. But yeah, so those are my first games, and I just, every time I look at this Game Boy or that cart, it just brings me back to that year when I was just finished the school year, and I was able to go to Ames to pick out my Game Boy. And I remember I also got, it must have been a package deal thing, because I also got the rechargeable battery, which I have in storage right now, because obviously it doesn't really work anymore. But it was like a little, if I can find a picture of it, I'll put it up here. A little like roundish, not really round, I don't know what shape you would call it, but a little brick, and it had two cords coming off it. One that would go in the Game Boy, one was the power cord. And I remember having that as well, so that I could always be playing it without the AA batteries. So yeah, that's just my quick memory about my Game Boy. And hearing Tiger Chainsaw talk about his made me want to dig that out and tell you my little story about it. So until tomorrow's episode, guys, I'm glitching out.